I am at the Garden of Remembrance at the Theosophical Society, Adyar, Madras, India. This has one of the most sacred feelings to be in this place. And that sacred feeling is necessary so that I can share with you my insights about life. I do have a 20-page written script, and you will see that most of the time I try to follow the written script. You will see in some of the shots the typed pages fluttering in front of the lens. But a number of times I've just spoken what I feel should be said. You will of course notice that the photography has been done by me, not professionally, in a room which is silent so that you can hear what the speaker is saying, but amid all the sounds which we hear in our everyday life. In the TS headquarters, it's full of children talking and laughing. At other places, the sound of the aeroplane, of a car, of motorcycles, of human beings talking in the background, dogs barking, and of course the birds around us. So this is nature, the world which we live in. And therefore the insights that I'm sharing with you is about the world we live in, including the speaker and the listener. So if you're able to follow what the speaker has said, then I hope that it will change your life completely in the understanding of what there is. That you'll be without fear, that there'll be peace in your life, and you'll be able to love everyone around you. That's my introduction. This is the Adyar River, and during the monsoon it flows into the ocean, and during the summer it is completely dry. The birds come here, as you can see, to fish. And there are multi-story buildings across. It is indeed wonderful to be able to sit on the bank of a river quietly and peacefully, to sit on the banks of the river and to observe not merely the birds, the squirrels, the fishing birds, and the crabs on the ground, and to be one with nature. It's important that one is with nature completely, and It is this sensuous feeling of oneness that brings about an understanding of truth. And that is something which cannot be spoken about because it's a direct perception, and speaking comes after the direct perception. So it's a sort of an axiomatic thing. It looks a little bit trite for the speaker to say it's axiomatic and say you have to do the seeing, and without the speaker being able to help. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. But despite their preaching and talking, universal brotherhood is not a fact, because belief does divide people. So we have to understand how belief systems divide people and what is the universal brotherhood which they are speaking about. Mankind stumbled upon their way of communication which used initially symbols to point out to things, and then gradually developed the complex models of today. As I stand in front of the Garden of Remembrance, maybe you can hear over the sound of the aeroplane the music of the birds and the squirrels and the various insects in the forest and in the jungle. While this is a garden in the city of Chennai, if you go to the wilderness of Tanzania, you can hear the trumpeting of elephants, the roar of the lions, the soft grunt of the cheetah, of the yelp of the zebra. Each of these sounds are understood by the creatures in the forest. That is their communication medium. And you and I can understand if we spend enough time listening to them and seeing the responses. How about mankind? I'm sitting under the spreading branches of the great banyan tree at the Theosophical Society in Adyar, Madras. This is the place where so many talks were given on spirituality and science. I think mankind has arrived at the stage where he needs to understand what modern science has shown about life, and from that have a spiritual understanding which will go beyond what science has been able to give for us. Scientific understanding is the measurement of observations and creating models to account for such measurement. And from these models, to be able to extrapolate as to what further events or could happen, and they could be looking for it. And this brings about greater understanding of the way in which nature works in its multi-dimension aspect. Spiritual understanding arises by a highly sensuous and direct perception of the experience of both what is seen and the experience as an integrated experience. And without giving a name or a measurement to the spiritual experience, which is the experience, the actual. And it is spiritual because the very sensuous experience, without interference in what is happening, what is experienced, will lead to great depths of understanding of the consciousness of the human being, which cannot be done through the scientific process of measurement. And this understanding cannot result into models of what is seen, because the moment the models are seen or models are created, then the actual seeing or direct perception stops. So models are created by other people seeing, measuring, and from that more measurements can be taken. But models do not lead to the direct perception. But models do create an understanding of what life is about. So in this series of discussions, I'll be sharing with you what the scientific models are and what the spiritual seeing is about. And as a result of your direct seeing, there will be a greater peace, joy in your life.